impress a lot of people quickly. The most outgoing personality, just the type of guy you put in a room with 30 people and they'd elect him as chairman of the group.
I worked in a motorcycle shop and he rode a motorcycle and we kind of serviced it. And the first time I met him at the shop, if you would have told me this guy's got like 6 kids and married and he's a teacher, I would have been very surprised, because he would come into the shop usually screeching the tires, and then when he would leave, he would, he rode like a bat out of hell.
Dad was a guy that everybody liked. He didn't take life too seriously.
Everybody was a friend. It didn't matter who they were. He trusted everybody.
No was not part of his vocabulary. It's like, let's do it, and then it'd be like, okay, like next week, no, let's do it, like right now, let's get it done.
He always would say that, you're here for a reason. You got to make a difference. So what are you going to do that's going to make a difference?
Being with my father, it was always sort of like an adventure, and that sort of feeling continued onto the golf course.
I have many fond memories golfing with Ken Cohen. We had a lot of fun. Some of them right here on this course, and some of them as far away as Alpine.
He had a pair of golf shoes, and for some reason they rubbed his feet or hurt his toes. And so I'm playing golf with him, and I look at the shoes, and it's like they were like slid on the side, both of them. I was like, Dad, what happened to your shoes? Oh, they hurt my toes. And so he took a razor blade and he cut around the toe. So like a little bit of a flap, looked sort of like a early day sandal, I guess. I liked that.
We were golfing up in Alpine once, and a lightning storm, a big storm, rolled up over the mountain. And I remember both of us were out in the fairway, and we were getting ready to hit a shot, and the hair stood up on our arms, and he looked at me and he goes, I'm out of here. And so we ran for cover and just left our clubs out there. And as soon as the storm passed, and we finished the round.
We got to this one hole, and both of our second ball was on the side, and I took my wedge, and I just kind of took a little swipe at it, and it popped the ball up, and I caught it in my hand. And Dad was about 7 feet from me, and he goes, flip that up to me. And so I did it again, and I bladed it and just shot a rocket right into his arm. He goes, what the hell was that?
Dad came home one time from golfing with some friends of his, and he was all bloody.
He hit a shot that was close to the tree. I'd forgotten about this. And the ball hit the tree, and he was quite close to it. Well, the tree threw it right back in his head.
He hit a golf ball, and it hit into a tree, ricocheted back, and hit him in the head.
And it knocked him down, I believe, but I mean, it left a cut, and he was bleeding and needed some help.
He got like 6 or 7 stitches above his head. I thought that was pretty funny.
When Dad was dying, diagnosed with ALS, we had a lot of serious talks over a couple of years. And he's down to maybe 3 months before he died. And I asked him the question about, do you have any regrets? And he said, yes. I wish I would have eaten bacon and eggs every day because cholesterol didn't kill me.
I was very close to my dad. And he loved it. He loved life.
Dad died of ALS, which is the common name for Lou Gehrig's disease. And unfortunately, with the Lou Gehrig's disease, the studies on it and the medication aren't really progressing much at all.
Hospice was just getting off the ground up here. Not very many people knew of it. I'd never heard of the word hospice before Mom said, hospice is coming in to help me with Dad.
I called them one morning. They were there that afternoon. And they started help by getting us a wheelchair, any equipment that was needed to help him. We got a walker. They started sending their volunteers to stay with him so that I could go do grocery shopping or had some needs to get away from the house.
The way they helped us mentally, spiritually, physically, the way they helped my dad was just unbelievable.
Back then, we didn't even know what hospice was, and then now, 20 years later, I mean, everyone's been either knows what hospice is, been directly involved with hospice, or has had someone, from hospice to help out their family.
I began working with hospice approximately a year after my husband, Ken, passed away. When you begin working with patients, you find out it's not just their welfare that you're concerned about, it's their families. And I would venture to say 70% of patients are younger people. They are not elderly that are dying because of age. And these younger people have families, little children, wives, and they have needs. They have rent to pay, they have utilities, they have groceries to buy.
So it was just a simple decision of if we were going to do something and raise money for something, it should be hospice.
And the kids said, well, we really would like to do something special for hospice. And then it just seemed to roll right into, well, we have the perfect thing. Why don't we do a golf tournament?
On the back.
Yeah,
it's on the steel. Yeah.
I think Matt showed up.
The very first one was on July 4th, and it was just kind of a thrown together. It was just a month after Dad had died.
We got together and had a tournament, and then we called it, like, I think the Ken Cohen Memorial then.
We literally had about a dozen guys, and I think we raised a couple $100.
Then when the tournament was all over, we decided to just put the money to the White Mountain Hospice Association. And that was it. At that time, we didn't plan anything else.
The next year we thought, okay, let's formalize this a little bit. And the next year maybe we had 30 or 40 golfers.
What happened to me when his annual anniversary of his death came, I started to really grieve, and it really tore me up. I mean, I just almost thought, how disrespectful. I mean, everyone's planning this party and all these people are gonna come, and I looked at it like, and this is my dad's death. I mean, we're celebrating his death. And then we started telling stories about Dad and, about how much he meant to all these people, friends. There were a lot of his friends that were there in the beginning. And, I mean, I knew how much he meant to the family, but, just neighbors and everything. And then right there in that time, I just thought, oh my God, how could I have been angry, for this to happen when it's such a wonderful thing.
The unexpected benefit of it has been it's become like a family reunion and a celebration of life every year since then.
From the first time that I attended the KVC, just seeing all the family and friends, and then the next year you'd see the same people, and then they would invite some friends of theirs, and so you would, over time, each year, you would see it expanding, and it just continued.
Welcome everyone to the 20th annual KVC Memorial Golf Tournament. Thank you all for being here.
This year we have 113 players. We're going to have about 170 people at the luncheon. We raise between $12,000 and $14,000 usually on average, but because we've been doing it so long, we have donated over $250,000 to the White Mountain Hospice Foundation.
Two nice clubs for $200. I got 210. Do I hear 220? Do I hear $220? I got 220. Do I hear 230? I got $230. 230 once. Sold to Jim Linyard for $230. Jim Linyard.
And sir,
I think you all saw the hot dog girls and boys in the Dickens backyard selling the hot dogs, selling us beers, all the koozies that they all made. How about a big round of applause?
we just want to thank everybody for all your generosity and support for hospice. And our grand total that we raised was $678.
There's been many positive things that have happened from this over the years, and you think it originated from us trying to honor Dad in some way.
He was humble. He didn't want big birthday parties. He didn't want people making over him or anything. But in this case, knowing what it grew to be and what the purpose was, not just his memory, as helping others. And he would be all for it.
We really want to thank you for all your help and support in the last 20 years. Without your help and support, we would not exist. So thank you very, very much for coming out and being a big support for the foundation. Thank you again.
To support an organization like hospice has been a pleasure because they're so helpful and they never ask for anything.
And for us to be able to do something in his honor, just to say thank you to them, is really important. And I know he'd be proud of that.
It's been an honor serving and fundraising for hospice over these last 20 years.
I just wanted Mom up here. We've been talking a lot, and I know there's been rumors going around. I didn't want it to be the focus of the weekend. Thank you all for being here, but you're all at the 20th and final KVC Memorial Golf Tournament. We're going to do something next year. We don't know what yet, to raise money for hospice, but what it is not going to be is the 21st annual KVC Memorial. It's going to be something else. We're ending this on top at 20. And thank you all for being here.
We never thought in KVC 1, 2, 3, or 4 that we would be having the 20th annual. It's a great thing, but with that being said, we have no exit strategy. We didn't know where we were going. We were just going.
Could we do it for the 21st year? Yes. Could we do it for the 22nd year? But do we want to be doing it for the 30th year when we're all, now we're starting to be in our late 50s and 60s, do we want to be doing this when we're in our 60s and 70s? And I believe the answer is no.
We just want you to remember the good time, the fun, and a good deed. Go home with a warm heart.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you for everything.
Totally understand.
It's amazing that it ran 20 years. It's amazing that there was $250,000 to $300,000 raised for hospice. And I don't want to say you expect it from the family, but it's just kind of what we do. It's what Dad would have done. It's what Mom does, and we just kind of keep going. You know, and when Frank says that we'll find something else, I don't know what that is, but I imagine there will be something else.